Hey everybody, Sophia Parola here with Garden State Film Festival, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Charlie Falotico. He is the creator, the filmmaker of this short documentary called The Mayor. It will be premiering at the Garden State Film Festival this year. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming and congratulations to you. I would love for you to introduce yourself for everyone who's watching and tell us about The Mayor, please.
So, hi, my name is Charles Falotico. Currently, I'm a freshman at Montclair State studying TVDM. The Mayor came to me as an idea of I wanted to start to get into that. Excuse myself, sorry. I started creating The Mayor because I wanted to get into documentary filmmaking while I was in high school. We worked a lot on like short film and narrative, and I never did anything like that before. So I was thinking of ideas, and I had this aunt who was married to Dave, this guitarist from New York, who we talk about in the film. And I always heard stories about him and his music and his influence. So one day I was like, all right, let's go out. She gave me a Rolodex of people. I started interviewing them. And through that process, I started just kind of like clumping stuff together. And that's kind of how the film came to be.
Oh wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that your aunt was the one who was married to him. That's very cool. So it kind of was in the blood. It was in the family. Everyone was a big fan. Are you a fan of his music as well, or did this make you a big fan of his music?
This definitely like made me a fan of his music. So like I wasn't, to say I knew a lot about like folk before the film would be like I didn't know a lot. So going in, it was kind of like a fresh perspective, but like, hearing all these different stories and stuff. And then like I'll be like traveling on the subway, going from spot to spot. I'll have it playing just to get like the juices flowing or whatever. And I got really into it actually. So it kind of gave me a new appreciation for the genre.
Absolutely. That's really cool. And hopefully everyone watching feels the same as well if they haven't heard of him before. I would love to ask you, because you were mentioning in high school, you did a lot of shorts and, a lot of films, but this is a documentary, which you were really interested in, changes things up. How is it different from making a documentary than making a film? And what have you learned? And are you really into documentaries now? I would love to know what was the process like?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's weird because like, I'm trying to say I don't want to say this in a way that's going to make like I feel like a lot of film people are going to cringe when they hear this, but I feel like with like narrative films and stuff, you do a lot of the writing, but when it comes to like documentaries, like the story's already there.
Yeah.
Matter of like finding it, and something about it just was like I like the production a little more like impromptu. Like I just show up at these people's apartments and be like, "Hey, I'm here,"
Right, and you don't know what's going to come out. Did the story develop as you were going on? Since that's a fact that you don't really know exactly what they're going to say, and you kind of just went there hoping for the best. And does the story develop as you go on, or you had a set idea of what you wanted going into it?
So this was something that everyone kind of like was like, oh, you should come up with a plan or you should write out a script or something like that. And I thought, no, I don't need that. I'm just going to go in and interview these peoples. And I totally could have shaved off like 2 months of time if I had just written a script beforehand. But so I did go in kind of a little bit blind, and I would not recommend it.
Well, that's some great advice. If I ever think to make a documentary of anything, I think prep is a big part of it. So I'd love to ask you why you wanted to submit this to Garden State Film Festival. What does it mean having this documentary premiere at, New Jersey's home, Garden State Film Festival?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Jersey. I grew up kind of by the Jersey Shore and by Asbury, and growing like in high school, our film teacher always promoted the festival. We've had people shown there before, and I always thought it was like great having this like, this. Sorry, excuse my stuttering, but just having this like pretty well-known like film festival in Jersey, and I think it's a great representation of people like all over the scene. And I actually helped. I volunteered like 2 years ago, and it was just I was able to see like how like I was able to see a couple films and stuff. And I really really liked the program that you guys got going on. So when I heard that the film got it, I was like, yes, like oh, this is sick.
That is so awesome. That's so cool. And I think it's great that exactly what you were saying before. There's so many different subjects and so many different films. And I love that your documentary really focuses on a musician and music and the people that he touched. And I'm sure that your aunt will be so proud. And a lot of people who are in Asbury, which is such a big music scene, watching this, they might know Dave. And I just think it's a great place for it to premiere.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's so cool. So I'd love to know, I mean, you're in college now, and what's next for your film career, any future projects? And I hope that you're thinking to submit any of them to Garden State. I'd love to know, what are your next plans? What are you interested in doing?
Oh, of course. So something great about like kind of this being like dipping my toes in the documentary filmmaking, it really got me interested in more like television side of things as opposed to like strictly like film and narrative. I'm getting a lot more interested in news and stuff. So there are a couple of ideas I got rolling around. I'm involved with the radio station here and some like news, the Montclair I'm trying to get involved with. But something I'm trying to work on now is I noticed at Montclair there's this big music scene and stuff, and I guess they say like I'm a huge music fan. I'm a musician, and it's always just been a big influence. Like working like, a lot of what I do with film and stuff. So I kind of want to make a film about like certain students here and how COVID has impacted how they were able to, do their music thing, express themselves. Obviously, you can't be having, shows in the dorms or shows at the venues or anything like that. So I have like a list of students I want to interview as long as some, and as well as some like venues in the area and talk about, what are we doing in Montclair to make sure that these people get heard and recognized and stuff.
Charlie, that sounds so cool. I think that I really would love to see that. And I hope the best for you. I hope that you continue doing that. And you said that that's a Garden State. I have to plug that
Thank
in. Last question for you, especially being a college student and what you just said, how you love to know how these people are responding, especially to COVID-19. Any advice for filmmakers out there, people who want to start a documentary, especially people who maybe their creativity isn't what it was, especially during this time? How are you staying creative? What would you say to any aspiring filmmakers or people in a position like yourself? What would you say to them? I know that's a big question, but
no, I got you. It's ironic. I was talking to my buddy about this before because we kind of have this like issue lately. We're like, are we producing enough? Are we getting involved with enough? What are we doing basically? And kind of like the answer we came up with is like never be satisfied with just like if you're not satisfied with what's going on, you feel like you could be doing more, like go for it, like kind of like forge your own path a little bit. Just because maybe the video production club isn't producing as much, and if you feel like you could be making that work, get involved with people, even people that aren't in the film, have them help out and make something, even if it's not great, just to get those like juices flowing. And it's like exercising almost, I feel.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's such great advice. And I love that. I'm always being frustrated. Like, oh, I wish I was doing this. I wish I was doing that, but I can't go out. It does not matter. You should make it any way you can. And I love that advice, Charlie. Thank you so much. And I think that it sounds like you're doing a great way of staying creative and trying to forge your own path. So that's really awesome. I look forward to seeing your future successes and other things that you make.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on today. Really, this is great. This is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so great to interview these different people with different perspectives. And you have some regular films, some music videos, and documentaries like this, and music, and it just incorporates so much. It's so awesome to have your documentary accepted, and I can't wait for people to see it. So people will be able to see it at the venue of the Asbury Hotel in Asbury Hall, Saturday the 27th in the block of 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So in Asbury, yes, the music scene. It'll be great to watch a documentary like this. And congratulations again, Charlie. I wish you the best in all your successes, and your success is Garden State's success. So definitely keep in touch with us.
Definitely. Thank you so much.